I think this is the lowest and widest jar I've ever made. The lid is a fraction too large to fit into the opening though, so I begin by thinning out the locating flange until both parts slot together nicely. I then stick the body of the jar onto the wheel using slip, a technique I love as it lets me trim the entirety of the walls of the pot. There's a bit of a knack to doing it properly, but by attaching the pot upright, I can then place the lid into it and turn the lid in situ, sort of using the body like a chuck, which makes it particularly easy to trim both parts so they match. The spinner on top helps me push down to keep the lid in place, distributing the pressure over a wider area as the lid is relatively thin, and if I use just my fingertips, there's a chance I'd create a small divot in the top. I turn a very shallow hollow into the top of the lid, as this way when covered in glaze, it creates a very flat layer that's contained within this hollow. As if it's left flat or slightly convex, the additional layer of glaze that's eventually coated over it can make the vessel feel a bit rounded, like a glass too full with water, instead of the sleek aesthetic I'm going for. The lid can then conveniently be used like a chuck for the body, into which I trim a shallow foot to remove excess weight that could otherwise make the vessel feel a bit bottom heavy. The last thing I always double check is the lid, and I run over the sharper corners with my fingertips, burnishing them smooth once again. And that's the store jar finished, for now at least. I'll glaze fire this object with the lid raised up on numerous waddings, as by doing so it'll keep the delicate rim of the jar properly round.